reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to LotRO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Welcome to LotRO Reporter, episode 241. I am your host, Carrie, and I'm joined this week, as always, by the Minion Master himself, Leonor. Hi, Leonor.
Hello, minions. Holy cow, is it hot. Man, it's so hot. They have a swamp cooler, and the swamp cooler is under my desk on me. Yes, I'm reading from a script.
Yes, he is reading from a script because the West Coast is very, very hot right now.
Yes, Cali is very, very hot right now.
Yeah, so Washington State is as well, and I don't have an air conditioner. And that's the discussion about swamp coolers and desks that the chat room heard half of, unfortunately, but now can hear me.
Indeed.
So welcome to episode 241. What have you been up to in game, Leonor?
I have been in the Entmoors. I do not remember what percentage I'm at. I think I'm getting close to 40%. I'm not sure, though. Maybe it's 39%. But I did get to do Middle-earth at War this weekend, or last weekend, and it's very, very cool to be doing that show again. I missed it for about 2 weeks. I was doing a lot of things for the network, and whoo boy, getting burnt out. Burnt out on MMOs for a while, but I'm back.
Yeah, well, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm diving into everything, even to Asian games right now.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
The good ship MMO Reporter went and played Wings of Icarus Friday night.
Guns of Icarus.
Guns of Icarus Friday night. That was hilarious. It was you, me, Bill, and Chris. And it's kind of a steampunk fighting, flying, shooting things down game. It was pretty fun. Yeah, and we got
lots of crazy people playing that game, and I ended up, as Chris says, innocently trolling. And I unfortunately, in one of my troll sentences that I was writing into the chat room, I misspelt the word dog and didn't realize it.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be they must have noticed that completely around the other words that they were saying.
Yes, it was quite a different word, and oh boy, did it make the MMO Reporter Network laugh.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. And then in LotRO, I did some crafting so I could make gear for my lobies. I'm like, oh yeah, I have a metalsmith. Do I have enough stuff to make gear with? It goes a lot faster now with the new, turn it into scrap, turn it not into scrap. That's kind of nice. I don't have to make 52 chest pieces or boots or whatever. And then I went to the North Downs on my level 19 captain because they gave me the quest to go to the North Downs, and I thought, oh, it's been revamped. All the quests start at 24. So I'm like, okay, so I've got this big jump from like 19 where I'm here to 24.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I want to go out there or not. Because I'm like half a level away from getting the undefeated on this one, and I don't want to die.
So close.
I got like 2.5 levels just crafting on her the other day.
Wow.
Yep. And then I leveled up my champion and needed gear, thus I went and started crafting in the level 16 at the time and got 19. I went, oh, let's go to the North Downs, and vicious cycle commenced.
Shing shing.
Mm-hmm.
Get to do shing shing.
Oh, yeah? Is that the champion?
Yeah. You don't know what shing shing is?
That's the double swords, right?
Yeah. That's the cool attack. The shing shing.
That does make a
That's
cool
the
noise.
sound. It's the sound.
That does make
I don't know what the skill is, but everybody knows shing shing.
All right, and that's what we have done in game. We have some news. The other thing that I got to do last week in LotRO is I got to join the presses. I got up at 6:30 in the morning, which is early for me, to do the press walkthrough, and got to break the news that update 14 is coming in July 14th. I thought that was pretty cool. I waited for a couple hours. Nobody said anything. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this. They didn't say I couldn't, so I did. So the Strength of Sauron is coming on July 14th. So I saw a tweet today that said the pack is $7.95 TP for premium and free players. It's of course free for VIPs. The area is pretty cool. It looks very Mediterranean. The thing I noticed about it when I was running around the other day taking some screenshots is along the road it looks very Mediterranean, and you look over into the hills and it still looks like it's in the mountains with the green evergreen trees. Kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Paths of the Dead are really creepy.
Yep.
It's really, really creepy. We do have this is something I thought was pretty cool. That some of the epic story instances you can do solo or you can do them in a group. They're giving you the option, which I think is pretty awesome.
Pretty nice.
Yep. And then there is going to, I think there's a 3-man, and then there's going to be a 6-man open world area. And if you watch the video all the way to the end, you can see me kind of drag Sapiens with a little suggestion from Leo into this area and get stomped on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I didn't know it was a troll. It looked like a really, really funny looking It was playing jacks. It had its back to me. It was squatted down. It looked like a wagon. Did you get a chance to do any of the press stuff, Leonor?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I think, it was all really early, and I wasn't even up and aware yet at that time, so no, I didn't get to do it.
Okay. The second one was at noon, Leonor.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, wasn't even up and aware of that time. But I thought it was pretty cool. They let me tag along on a character, so I got to video where they took us, and that's where we got the video from. And to the most controversial thing said in LotRO this last week, Raiders make up a small percentage of players, and there will be no noob grouped instance clusters, which we've known for a while, but I don't think people really liked hearing it the way it was said.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leonard and I had a long discussion over Skype last night about it. So take it away, Leonard.
Well, first of all, this does not say the article that we're talking about right here and the Sapience post.
Uh-huh.
This does not say no more instance clusters or instances.
Right.
And even Turbine has said before, they said that depending on the story of what's going on in the area will determine if there's going to be some sort of an instance or some sort of a epic battle.
Right. And I've seen a lot of articles by people, and and one article in particular clearly got raiders that mixed up with groupers, like people who have ever grouped once.
Right.
And there's a couple things that we do know. We do know that they've said that it's PVMP and Raiders make up less than 10% of players.
Yes.
We do know that Raiders are the minority of that 10%. So giving it a little bit of a margin of error, we're looking 2% one way or the other is usually what stuff does. We're looking at between 3 and 6% of players meet the definition that Turbine uses of Raider. We don't know what Turbine's definition of a Raider is.
Right. We do know that this isn't something that just Turbine had brought up or that Sapience just brought up in the forums, because I remember, I think this is about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, there was an article that kind of struck me with the same opinion that I have right now of this forum post. And it says, This was in Massively. It was about war horses and Hute bolts, or Leonorville.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, Joe notes that Turbine is aiming for a different target experience for endgame content. He emphasizes that people who play hardcore in instances and raids are not the majority of LotRO players. Instead, more players solo or duo as they play, have a shorter play session times, and are generally more casual. So when this first came out, this is when I realized that LotRO is seeing that there isn't a very big, large rating like hardcore. They use the word hardcore rating group, and that they were pulling back a little bit. And Hute was the first test of that. And later on, they said that Hute was a huge success. Well, if you look at it that way, you know, this is the only end content to do. Of course, it's going to be a success.
Well, yeah, this is true, and this is a way to get the better or almost best gear in the game. Who built was at the time.
Right. When I see the posts that were put in this forum post about the numbers that Sapience gives, they are a bit unbelievable, because the main reason for an MMO is to level up your character and raid.
See, that's where
this is what it usually is. Now, Lord of the Rings Online is a totally different beast altogether. And when this Massively article came out, this is when I started realizing that the game was a little bit different than every other game. Lord of the Rings is a very, very big title, a franchise, and people just really love being in that world.
Exactly.
They really love being in that world. And this game, I believe, in the beginning, tried to cover all the bases and then seen where the game went. They gave, these huge epic raiding areas. I mean, look at CD, Carn-Dûn. And look at, some of those other areas that they came out for raiders to go and raid in. And then look at the world, look at the Shire, look at, Rivendell. They nail every single thing that is in the book, the way it's described.
Yeah.
And with this franchise being so old and just being constantly advertised, I mean, the movies and, there's so many internet memes and stuff, that it just keeps going and going, just like Star Wars. It's always there, and almost everybody knows about it, and people just really like being in the world that Tolkien made. A lot of older people like being in it because they read the books as kids, and they have no intention of playing the raids at the end.
Right.
In fact, a lot of them don't even know what the heck those raids are, or might just watch a YouTube video that a friend of theirs gave to them. LotRO is a very different game.
Yeah, but I've been watching for the last couple of years stuff that WoW's been having to do to get enough raiders to run their raids too. They've got looking for raid, they've got cross-realm raiding. So they're having problems as well getting enough raiders. I think the player base itself is changing.
I think it has been changing for a while.
Yeah, I found one post somewhere that said that raiders in WoW made up about 20% of the players. It was like 1 million, and if they have 8 million, that would be what, 20%?
Right.
Or so.
The numbers that I don't really agree with is what is it? It's there was a post later on in this forum thread that from Sapience that said that the numbers do change from like 1% higher or lower at times.
Yeah.
Now I found that very, very strange, because he's telling us that when an MMO starts up, this Lord of the Rings Online, when Lord of the Rings Online started up, that it was not a raiding game. I find that really, really, really weird. This is in the era where World of Warcraft was doing all of their major raiding people from EverQuest were coming over, and even though EverQuest is a really nice big world and everything, they're doing a lot of raiding over there too. So at that time, the definition of an MMO was to build your character. And you do that by leveling all the way through the content and then raiding at the end. He says that these numbers were low in the beginning as well.
Well,
now, I talked to Harry Hall last night,
mhm.
and he almost just nailed in coffin confirmed it. He said that he had an interview with somebody when Mines of Moria was coming out. Now, I need to talk to him again and see if I can find this article or video or whatever it was that Harry Hall did to, interview this guy. But the guy said from Turbine that they found that rating was low, and they considered not doing instances for Mines of Moria.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it's been low, and I actually did some quick maths that I made stuff up, and basically, at launch 5%, and as free to play came out, more people came. Well, 5% of more people is going to be more people rating. So it is possible that this curve, has stayed the same depending on the number of people that are playing the game. But yeah, so and the thing that I think that is important, there's a couple of things I think that are important that people are getting, that I've been seeing people getting mixed up in articles, is number one, that raiders, we don't know the definition of a raider, but we are still getting group content, and Sapience did say that 3-man content is the most popular content. So I would expect to see more 3-man stuff. I wouldn't expect to see a 12-man like Tower of Orthanc raid cluster for the foreseeable future, if ever again.
I think if we get another 12-man, it's going to be like the newer 12-mans where it's one boss, it's one area, and then you just attack. I don't think it's going to be something where you have to travel all the way through it, kill multiple bosses.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like Osgiliath, where there's just a lot of lore there and there's a lot of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them just whipping out an epic battle. What armies went through or into there, or what are you talking about? It's got to be some sort of instance. I don't know about an instance cluster. I think instant clusters are probably out of the question at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fredulous is saying something in the chat room, is saying something very interesting. He is saying raiding was originally not even planned in LotRO. They only started working on them a few months before the game launched. He said if you read the very first raid developer diary, which I haven't, but I'll go look at it, basically says, a big apology to players. We know you didn't ask for these, but here they are.
Yeah, they might have looked at other games at that time. Like I said, that the main definition of an MMO was to level up a character and raid at the end. The selling point of the game, like, what do? You go to Middle Earth. Well, then what do? Well, then let's stick a guy there. Let's kill a guy. Well, what guy? How about the Lich King? How about the Witch King?
Yeah, the Lich King's wrong game.
Yeah.
But,
so,
yeah.
Boom, there's an end boss.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's cool. Let's go, I know Lord of the Rings. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
And then release the game or whatever. But yeah, if you could get us a link, that would be great to put in our show notes.
Yeah, but anyway, it has made waves. I'm sorry for those people. The thing is we were talking about this last night. And people who self-identify as raiders may not be what Turbine's definition of raider is. And self-identification on any kind of survey or any kind of scientific anything is like the worst way to get data, because you need, and I even thought, well, we could do a survey, but that wouldn't do any good either, because the only people that would answer our survey would be the people that saw it in the forums, if they even let us leave it up. The people who read the other LotRO forums and people on Twitter. That's not going to get the majority of people who don't care that forums exist.
The majority would have to come from Turbine putting a vote system in their launcher when it pops up.
Please answer these questions. And that's not. And
please answer these questions. And then if we're going to actually know these if people are going to feel that yes, these are the real numbers, that Turbine didn't mess with them or just trying to steer it their way like people think that they do, this poll would have to be run by something like massively.
Yeah, and it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
No.
It's never going to happen.
No. One of the people in the chat room, I think it's Fred Alar, says they would take more skirmishes though, and that's not. We did get some skirmishes. We got that one cluster that was basically 3-mans and a 6-man, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think those have been pretty popular.
I would love more of those. I would love more skirmishes. The epic battles are kind of like skirmishes, but they're not as flexible. I would love to have more skirmishes, even if they were just the new raid system where it's just one boss in the middle. I would love to have a 1-man, 2-man, 3-man, 6-man, 12-man thing, a skirmish. And I think that would help out a lot. And I don't think that those would be that complex to make for Turbine.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to go the epic battle route. I don't think they need to do the whole raiding cluster routes. I really think that they should either go that way, or if they really want to, since they do have these instances that are not scaled, like the Moria stuff, if they could do one instance every 2 updates or something like that, I mean, that would be fine. The instance is already made. A couple guys need to go through and update and scale everything. Maybe even, more guys than that. I don't know exactly how many it takes to scale an instance, but you don't have to do the entire cluster. You can just do parts of it.
So I think that's pretty much about all we can say on this.
Yes, I think the raiding community is the verbal ones, the ones that are, because there hasn't been very many raids. The raiding community, of course, is going to ask for more raids. It's just unfortunate, and we've known this for a long time. Like you said, Carrie, it's just not the main thing that this game has had.
Yeah.
Along with the PvP. The PvP we would have seen PvP servers by now. We would have seen PvP in more areas by now.
Right.
And that's not what this company is focusing on for this game.
Right. And I also have seen that with the Tahiti runs and the Shield runs and some of the feedback that we even got on our launch Helm's Deep launch night when we talked to Sapience, he said that even the first players council said, tell us stuff even if it's no. So guys, they're telling you stuff. It's just not what you wanted to hear.
Yes.
But they could have just
Sapience
left you in the dark.
Sapience does say that he went out a little bit on a limb to tell us this stuff. Well, he's not really going out on a limb. He's being a little bit more specific with numbers is what he's doing.
Yeah.
This stuff has been the same since we've known for a while. Some people in the chat room have confirmed it. I found an article 2 years ago about Rohan that has confirmed that they've been saying that these numbers are low.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry. And I do not mean to sound flippant. Please do not take it in this way. But there's a new game that just came out that's got a lot of raiding content, 40-man raids. You might want to check it out.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not trying to be flippant. I don't take it that way, but LotRO may not be the game for you anymore.
Yep.
All right, we got to get moving. Speaking
Let's
of,
go.
yeah, and
Let's shoot these down.
Yeah, so there's we had a couple things from a couple Shield runs. Sapiens showed off a teaser cosmetic pet for the extra life campaign. Amamasat was telling us about it last week. It is a ghost bear cosmetic pet if they hit $55,000. I think he's up to something like 20 or 30 at this point. So anybody who's donated $25 is going to get the ghost bear as a pet.
Awesome.
There is also going to be another cosmetic pet, but they're not revealing it yet. They're not.
It's a badger.
I think it's going to. Badger.
It's a beaver.
No. I think it's going to be a weasel. Okay.
Today we are going to teach Poldos how to fly.
Somebody asked if they plan on adding other cosmetic outfit creators' outfit to the mannequins. Sapience says if you're creating cosmetic outfits and you want to be featured drop him a note and he's going to get the information to Deviled Egg so she can start taking some of the ideas and designs. Rowan says they're open to suggestions. So if you've got the most awesome outfit you've put together, maybe it'll show up on a mannequin. This was actually the post that led to the numbers discussion.
Okay.
So somebody asked about the mix of solo quest versus group or more than one person in update 14. And as we have said, they're previously they want a solo, a solid solo quest, but they're going to have 2 or 3 instances in the epic that are optional that you can do solo or with a group. They had that whole new subregion with large trolls that look like wagons for 6-mans. And then they've got some group things mixed in with the repeatables in Dol Emerald. So there's options. It's just not your classic options.
Right.
Let's see. And they had some really cool people. So if you haven't listened to the audio of our update 14, at least listen to the audio. It was pretty interesting. They are so excited to actually have made it to Gondor. They pointed out that no game ever makes it to Gondor, and they did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of games don't even make it to Rohan.
Yep.
If we're talking older games, computer games, Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games, crazy arcade games, Vegas slot machine games. They don't go that far.
Yeah, they don't. And they were so excited to make it there, and you could just hear it in their voices how excited they were to show it to us. He said that on July 9th they're going to be doing for players on the live stream. So watch out for the dates for that. So you can ask some questions. And then on the run for Anduin, he announced Snowpuff, the Extra Life that exclusive pet that is coming in update 14.
Snowpuff.
I think it's like a baby bear. So you can get those. And then in the new era of Turbine telling us stuff, we have a tentative summer schedule.
Wow.
I know. I mean,
look at all these dates.
Yeah, they gave us dates. They gave us dates in July. We're having a loot box weekend, which I don't care about. I never get more loot boxes on the loot box weekend. I don't know about you. I don't.
Depends if I'm with a group that's farming loot boxes.
Okay.
Which is kind of a gray area. The loot boxes are going to drop, but we don't want you to farm. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Just give it to us.
Yeah. That's this weekend. The weekend after that's a 25% mark acquisition boost. And then the 22nd through the 8th is the summer festival.
Yep, and then in August we got the 8th through the 10th we have Hobnabagans. Then with the 15th through the 17th, we have another loot box weekend. The 22nd through the 24th, we have Buried Treasure, which is the June, July, August. That will probably have the Oktoberfest goats still. I hope.
Yep. September 27th through August 27th through September 1st, which is Labor Day weekend. There's a 100% bonus XP weekend.
Woo!
And then the 2nd through the 6th is the Farmer's Fair.
Yep. No, 2nd through the 16th.
16th. And in the middle of that, you have the Hobnanigans again on the 5th through the 7th.
Hobnabagans.
And then we've got Bilbo's birthday.
Bilbo Baggins.
On the 16th through the 24th. The Mariners, the Shipwreck Mariner, not the Mariners, the foot baseball game, our team, the 19th through the 21st. And then we have another loot box weekend. So that takes us through September. Now, go ahead.
We have a calendar.
Yeah. But unfortunately, for those of you who would like to call phone support on the weekends, it will no longer be available starting July 12th. They will be available 12 to 7 Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Yeah, we have 3-mans coming up again next week.
Yes, unfortunately, I think Warg was feeling very, very good and contacted me, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Okay, in the community, we have a letter. Can you tell us about the letter, please, Carrie?
Yes, from Simon, who said that he listened to episode 240, and there was a discussion about the shield runs, and about how we're not going to get raids anytime soon, and you said maybe after December, and he just wanted to point us out that we had given some misinformation. That
Well, that is a theory.
yes.
That is also called hope.
Yes. Leonor's very hopeful.
And the point I was making, unless this was a different point at the time, but the point that I was trying to make was they are trying to finish out the year of the roadmap that was already laid out.
Mhm.
Rowan came into this roadmap. Now, he is hearing that people want to do things together, that people want group content. There was no group content listed on this roadmap. We know this.
Yeah.
We've been debating about the no raid instances for, the entire year. We are getting group content. So I believe, in my own opinion, that he does hear this. And I do believe that this is why we're hearing about group content. Now, like Sapience says, it's not the instant stuff that we're looking at that on getting, but we are getting stuff. We are getting a 3-man instance. It's probably like a session play, not session play, I shouldn't even say that. It's probably like some sort of story to go through.
Mm-hmm.
They upgraded the epic story in specific spots in Gondor in the update 14, where instead of just playing solo all the way through, you can get groups for specific spots.
Mm-hmm.
And they did say in the video that the mobs and whatever things happen in there also change depending on the groups.
Yep. Yeah, they did say that it got tougher and some stuff was different.
So to me, it is obvious that Rowan has been hearing this, that why don't we have instances? Why don't we have group stuff?
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to see more group things, along with instances. I actually would just love to see things scaled instead of new instances. I was actually hoping for not a lot of new things this year, bringing the game up to speed,
right,
and updates and fixing old systems and making systems better and scaling a lot of things. But I do think that he is listening and has made things group content, but just not the way that we're looking at it, like instance wise.
Right, the classic stuff. So thank you, Simon, for pointing that out to us.
Yes, and I do believe that Rowan has heard that stuff, and he's probably already thinking about things after December.
Yeah, so we will see what things happen. And they did say it all depends on. I know we're getting an epic battle this year, guys. I'm sorry, Draculetta, that's what they told us. But that does not mean that in the next expansion that we wouldn't get some kind of group. I think it really does all depend on what the story has to say.
Right. And let me apologize real quick to Simon. You wrote a really, really good letter. It's nice and long, and we'd actually talk about it a little bit more, but we are short on time tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah. We are having to go short.
Yeah, our boss is going to do another show, so we gotta go.
Yeah. You know what? I think we're going to save this letter from Kevin for next week because he's got some good questions, and it's stuff that we need to think about.
Yeah, I would really like to talk about some of this stuff. So
yeah. So we're going to call it this evening. Leonor is going to tell us about our awesome sponsors.
That's right. If you're looking for a new PC, then check out doghousesystems.com and use the coupon code MMOReporter to double your RAM. Oh, yeah. You like that?
Yeah, for free.
And if you like Audible books, go over to audibletrial.com/MMOReporter and get 1 month free and get 1 book free. And also we have started up a Patreon page. If you love what we do and the games that we cover and the news that we talk about, then become one of our patrons. A couple dollars a month, $1 a month, or whatever you want to do, and the cash will go to new equipment that we need. Hopefully, it'll take us to PAX so we can actually get some more interviews and firsthand chats with some of those awesome devs out there.
You don't want me in charge of the PAX coverage, trust me.
And I think Chris says that he's looking to get the staff paid.
Yep.
So that'd be great.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So if you're looking to support to the network, that is the greatest way to do it.
Right. And also on our webpage, which is LotRoreporter.com, we have a link if you just don't want to do monthly and just want to help send us to PAX or send Chris to PAX. You can click on there and do a one-time donation or a reoccurring donation through PayPal as well if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
You can send us emails as Simon and Kevin did to lotro.reporter@gmail.com. We do read them. Sometimes we can't read them usually sometimes they're entirely on the show, but we do read them and do think about the feedback. You can follow us on Twitter at LotRo Reporter. You can check us out on Facebook. Just search for LotRo Reporter. You can leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or in the widget on the right-hand side of your screen when you visit our site. You can, of course, check us out on youtube.com/user/MMO Reporter Network. And you can follow us. Be sure to sign up to follow us on twitch.tv/MMO Reporter, and you know when we go live. You can follow me on Twitter at TheCarryMac. It's TheCarrimac.
You can follow me at Leonor, Layanor, where I am reading most of my twits now.
Yeah, but he won't follow you back because he only follows 5 people. Yeah, I know.
You're lucky we're out of time.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining us and listening. And as always, we do hope, thank you for downloading, and we do hope to see you in game. And I'm sorry, the large warg has decided to throw a fit.
Is that the one that killed Aragorn?
Yes. Killed Aragorn. Or ate him or something.
Oh boy. Wouldn't want him as a pet. Yeah.
In community, we got 2 letters. The first letter was just letting us know that we misspoke and hang on just a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Akuma Matata. It means no worries. You know what? I don't like that one. I like bare necessities, those simple bare necessities, those simple bare necessities of life. I mean those bare necessities, those simple bare necessities, the simple bare necessities of life. Would you guys like me to Google the rest of those lyrics?
All right, I'm back.
Oh.
Apparently my dog's doppelganger literally looked like my dog was walking down the street.
Oh, wow.
And my dog was barking at my dog.
I'm sure your dog was confused.
Yeah, she was yelling, "Hey, long lost sister, please come over here."
Don't I know you? You look familiar. Hey.
Pretty much. All right.